Welcome to the Sanctuary Podcast, hosted by Angel Deer. In this podcast, we explore the mysteries of spirituality and consciousness. In each episode, we dive deep into the realms of human experiences, our rapidly changing world, and the unseen realms, tapping into the universal wisdom that connects us all. Whether you're a seasoned spiritual seeker, starting to awaken to the possibilities of a more expansive reality, or want support on your journey, this podcast is for you. Join me as we explore topics such as shamanism, spiritual transformation, holistic healing, the medicine path, energy healing, plant medicine, ancient wisdom, and more. Our guests are respected elders and experts in their fields, and we'll learn from their insights and experiences as we journey together on the path of spiritual growth. If you can, please consider supporting this podcast by joining our Patreon page at patreon.com/thesanctuaryny. Once again, it is patreon.com/thesanctuaryny. Now, let's dive into today's episode.
Good morning, everyone. It's really a pleasure to be back on this podcast and for this special day today where we have this new moon in Leo. And when I woke up this morning, it was a very foggy morning. We have had a lot of rain in the past months. It's been a very unusual summer with very intense energy. But this morning it was all foggy. There was a mist on the land in the early hours, and something really strong was piercing through it. The energy of this new moon. There is big energy shift at the moment, and I wonder if you're feeling them. My dreams have been really wild and empowering, and especially last night, as the early hours of the night were the exact moment the moon went fully dark. One of the things I want to share with you today is that I feel that we often celebrate the full moon. We make offering, we put our crystal, we maybe do a special altar, prayers, rituals. But often we don't look at the new moon in the same way. And I've personally experienced deep shifts and real cosmic magic when I work with a new moon. When we look at shamanism and the Andean Cosmology, especially Andean Cosmology is the one I've been studying for the past 15 years, we are always reminded that everything works in duality. We need masculine, feminine, dark, light, above, below, inside, out, east, west, and on and on. There is always wisdom on each side of that duality. And in fact, the ultimate wisdom, the truth, as we could call it, the ultimate truth is the capacity to embrace the opposite and to find the same relationship with the dark as we find with the light. And that's something difficult for most people and for myself, right? When everything goes well, we feel relaxed, we feel joy, we feel open, we feel soft. But when things are more difficult, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, we start resisting, we judge. We don't welcome the dark teacher in the same way as we welcome the light teacher. So working with a new moon is a beautiful opportunity to try to see the power, the wisdom, the healing that is available in the darkness. In Andean Cosmology, the underworld, the unseen world, is called Uku Pacha. It's the world of the unmanifested, below the earth, the dark world, or the world of the womb of creation, where things are not yet manifested. when things are unseen, when things are still in a process of creation. And the beginning of that process of creation is complete void. Think of the birth of the universe right before the Big Bang, right before the expansion. Think of the womb space when a seed is planted. Think of any dreams and ideas you ever had that maybe never came to fruition, or maybe they did. In fact, look around you right now, maybe in your house or in your car or in nature, and see how everything that is there was first in an unmanifested form. Even this computer I'm recording this podcast on was before a computer, just a dream, just an idea. Someone a long time ago thought about creating such device, and maybe the creation today is way beyond their wildest dreams. So the elder, the ancient wisdom of Andean cosmology is always asking us to remember and to connect to this part of creation, to the first part, to the one that we don't see. And from there, move into the second world, the world of the fire, the Kai Pacha, the domain of the Puma, where we manifest, where we go into action, where the dreams or the idea or the visions we had can be transformed through action and started to be manifested. And those steps are really important because if you want to go with the flow of nature or the cosmic flow, the law of physics are all embedded into that order. And in a culture, in a society that we live in right now, we only go through the fire and the mind, which is the wind element. But we rarely give space and time for the unseen, the unknown, the dark, the unmanifested, and the power of the dream space. So that new moon is really an invitation to deep dive into that place. It really symbolizes this fresh start, this blank state. And in the darkness, we can find the potential for growth and renewal. In the darkness, we can let go and see what's in the way of creation, empty the space, release it, and finally create from that blank state. Light came out of darkness, like we grow from this darkness, following the cosmic cycles that we are all weaved in and that we have forgotten. This world moves at a frenetic pace, and we hardly take the time to stop, to pause, to breathe. We honor very often or get more excited by a sunny day or the summer than we are by the winter or a cloudy day, because we have such resistance to embrace not just the darkness in the world, but mainly our own darkness. That's what the new moon always invited me to. It's seeing what's really troubling me, what's troubling the world, my communities, my relationships, and courageously, with great discipline, allow myself to drop in to this world. This is the world of the spirit animal, the underworld journeys. This is a world where we can see beyond the veil of what is happening, beyond just the anxiety or the fear. We can drop down into the soul. In fact, this movement is very ancient, not just in the universe, but in the creation of the self. If you think of your soul as the unseen potential that contains all the wisdom you need for this life, it is not something that is happening or is seen in the mind first. It is something that is experienced deep down in the body. The desire to change, the desire to create, the calling for purpose and meaning, everything that is really important, that matters, is down there. So this energy of the new moon today and any new moon urges us to focus inward and to align with our deeper selves. The deeper self is not agitated. It is not anxious. It is full of knowledge. It is grounded. It knows. And maybe you have had that experience where you felt something deeply in you, even if you didn't know how to go about it, what to do about it yet. There was something calling you. So the journey from darkness to light is an opportunity to set intentions, to manifest our goals, and to begin new projects. And then as we go out or come out of this darkness and move into the second world, the Kaipacha, the fire, we manifest, we create, we write, we get new projects, we go into actions and movement. When that is done, we will access the third world, Hanan Pacha, the sky being, the higher perspective, the new perspective. So imagine you have this idea, dream, or vision, you plant the seeds, you go inwards, you really reflect. And then when times come, you get into action, you create, you manifest. When creation and manifestation happen, there is a shift in space and time. Something new can happen. And maybe as you sit with the creation, you access that new perspective. I'm going to tell you a personal story on that process that reminded me of this ancient technology and the power of the darkness and the light. Many years ago, I was in Peru in a ceremony and I got this very strong vision that I needed to create a deer temple, a temple for the grandfathers and the grandmothers of the North, for the ancestors. The vision was really out of nowhere. I never thought about that before, but what is out of nowhere? Nowhere to be seen, right? Nowhere to be known yet, but yet it came from somewhere. It came from the soul. It came from the invisible guides. It came from this Ukupacha world. So I sat with that vision. I reflected upon it. I could see very clearly the manifestation of it, what it would look like, but I refrained from acting immediately upon it, giving it time and space for the mother to birth the idea. Pachamama means the mother of space and time, not Mother Earth, mother of space and time. She's the creator of a space and a time, and she moves at her own pace, very often much slower than the world. So we need to slow down to access this place. We need to reflect. And that's what I did. A year after that, I was praying and I was guided into a very ancient tree. I think I mentioned it in one of my writings, one of my blog posts, a very old oak tree, extremely large, probably the largest tree on my land. The tree had a cave under. I put prayer in the cave and just thanking the tree for being here on the land, for the blessings, for its power and its wisdom. I didn't think more than that. Didn't ask anything to the tree. I just gave my offering and my thanks. A few months later, as I returned to the tree, I asked for a sign, for guidance, put my prayer down, and as I was living and walked through the trees and the forest and the land, here it was, this grandmother maple tree with a massive face on the tree, 2 eyes, one nose, a big mouth, and this old skin of the grandmother. And she told me, here is where your dear temple, your ancestor temple needs to be, right in front of her on this land that is very vertical and slopy and chaotic in many ways. There was this platform naturally carved in the ground, 20-foot round circle of flat ground. Exactly the space needed for my vision received a few years ago. So now I'm coming out of Ukupacha, and now is the time for action, Kaipacha, building the temple, finding the materials, spending time and energy on it, giving time and energy. Everything I will put into it, I will receive back. I will take my time for it, remembering also to slow down in this process. So maybe by the end of the year or next year, it will be built, and I will sit there doing my first offering of thanks to the medicine of Peru, to the oak tree, to the earth, to the maple tree, to myself, the visions that came through. And as I sit in ceremony there in the future, I know that the Hanan Pacha world, the upper world, the other vision, the higher perspective, the new vision will come through that manifestation. And I will probably understand. Who knows? It might take me many years to get there. Why I received that vision. So here on this new moon day, we are asked to go into that intention setting, to go quiet, to take time to reflect, to write down your intentions and dreams, to connect to the earth, and to let the friendly darkness of the new moon inspire you, reveal to you a vision, something that is not yet there. It will bring clarity and start bringing seeds of change. You can also take a corn seed and gently blow a prayer or a dream into it and plant it into the ground. Honoring the seeding of our prayers through that ancient practice that was gifted to me by a Native American elder is a beautiful way to trust that planted in the right place with the right intention, seeds will grow. If we give it time, if we wait, if we honor Ukupacha, if we honor the belly of the mother, the womb space, the darkness, the waiting, the silent. So before jumping into any creation, anything you want to do in your life, maybe write a new book or start a new project or a new relationship, or even mending a relationship, and before acting with the fire upon it and taking action, always take this time to step back and to dive into the underworld, to dive into the unseen, to really connect there to your soul that will guide you and reveal to you what to do. Always slow down, always slow down. Create the space for silence. Bath in the energy of new moon. You can even take your crystals and recharge them under the energy of the new moon. Many people only do the full moon, but if you want your crystals to be balanced, you need to bring dark and light to them. You need to rekindle that relationship to both teachers without judgment. And maybe you will experience something really powerful if you do that. So each new moon phase really brings us the opportunity to dive into that magical energy that has the most amount of possibilities and change. When things are not yet there, when they are invisible, when they are not manifested yet, it's the broadest field of creation. Things have not been put into place yet. There is more possibilities. In fact, every sound of my voice, every word, every sound of an instrument only exists because it is burst from the silence and because there is silence between those words. So if you harness the energy this way, you can fuel your dreams and passion with powerful magic. And more importantly, you can be reminded of our place in the universe, of how our soul connect to our mind, the earth connect to the wind, through the fire in between, but not from the fire only. We need the earth first to grow the trees. We need the body first to be alive. We need the soul first to have wisdom and guidance. And the connector between those three worlds is the water. The water that are an element that connect all the worlds. The underground water get heated by the fire, come into the air and go into the sky. And from the sky and this higher perspective, when the prayers are received, they will collapse, fall down into rain to bless the earth again, to bless you. This is really important to understand how those elements works, how those three worlds of cosmology work, to have a map that is ancient, precise, and wise to guide our life. If not, we will use the map of the world that we have been gifted and that are creating so much trouble, so much pain, so much confusion in the world today. I think it's not a secret that when we look at the world, we can see that it is highly dysfunctional, that there is things that are creating a lot of pain. We have disconnected ourselves so much from this cycle, from the true God of creation, and made other false gods real, like technology or money or power, that we have forgotten how things works. Therefore, we fight with so much energy to create anything. We feel we have to do so much and nothing is given. We have to take. So this practice with a new moon extends way beyond working with the darkness. It is a recalibration, a shift in consciousness, a return to our birthright of co-creator with this universe, in partnership with all of creation, in partnership with all the forces that are at play. So I hope you got some inspiration from this podcast today. I hope that you will dedicate time to that silent space, to the inquiry into the darkness, to the listening of the soul. If you do that and create from that place, things will fall into place in ways that are more magical, beyond your wildest dream. And it is my prayer that we gather together in that space, that we co-create together from that space, because I feel deeply in the core of my being, this is how we are going to truly change this world.
Thank you for listening to the Sanctuary Podcast. We deeply value your support. Please consider sharing this podcast with others and joining our Patreon page at patreon.com/thesanctuaryny. Once again, it is patreon.com/thesanctuaryny. At The Sanctuary, we believe that spirituality is a personal journey that takes many forms, and we honor and respect all paths to awakening and the rise of consciousness. Our mission is to provide a platform for open and honest conversations about spirituality and to inspire and empower our listeners to live their most authentic lives in good relation to each other's, the living, and invisible worlds. I look forward to connecting with you again here or at our events, retreats, and online gatherings. You can find all our offerings at thesanctuaryheal.com. Once again, it is thesanctuaryheal.com.